What's going on, you guys? Training camp, day 2 in the books. The New England Patriots have finished their second workout of their ramp-up period. It's right here. That's your Phil Perry, your senator. He's going to give you some data. I want to focus right out of the shoots on Juju Smith-Schuster. The team was after it again with jerseys, shorts, and helmets on, but Juju is very active and very much a focal point of what they're doing right now.
Targeted quite a bit. He's out there all the time with Mac Jones and that first team offense. I thought it was sort of a mixed bag in terms of the actual results on the field for Juju Smith-Schuster. But I think the fact that he's as active and he got targeted as many times as he did, Tom, is a clear indication they want to work him in. They want to get things going with him. He missed all the spring.
First blush, how is he different from Jacoby Myers in your mind when you watch him move?
Honestly, it's too hard for me to tell. We're in the red zone. I'm not getting a whole lot in terms of athleticism from Juju Smith-Schuster, but I know you are.
Yeah, I think he's fast. I think he's quick. Phone booth quick. Now, Jacoby Myers obviously had his limitations, but was a genius route runner and tremendous hands. What I'm seeing from Juju might be a little bit more stout quickness. I'm not saying he's Troy Brown, definitely not in terms of athleticism, but kind of that stout, compact quickness where good feet, gets open quickly, and he is stronger. I mean, I think he's listed at 215. He looks bigger than that. So it's a nice compliment. He and Devontae Parker seem to be guys who are matching up together. It's interesting. I'm watching a little bit during just a drill. They were trying to do some high-low stuff down on the goal line with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi trying to either throw low to a guy doing a slant or high to a guy crossing or doing a fade. When I watched that, it looked like Thornton and Bourne working together, which is interesting because they must see some complementary skills between those two guys.
I think they know that Parker and Juju Smith-Schuster are going to be on the field a lot, and usually you don't have 4 guys on the field. So again, I think there's a little bit of a camp battle there between Thornton and Bourne. Their skill sets are different, but I view them both as Z receivers, off the line guys that you would put in motion, that you could use both inside and out if you really wanted to. Juju Smith-Schuster is a slot receiver. Devontae Parker is a boundary guy. So those are going to be your 2, and I think those would be the 2 that would be on the field when you have 2 tight ends on the field, which we've still seen a lot of. We saw a lot of that again today. I did think Juju, just to stick with him for 1 second, had one of the more interesting plays of the day because he caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone from Mac Jones late, and it was on a play-action pass, something we really didn't see yesterday. It was something we hardly saw at all from the Patriots last year. They worked in a lot of play action today. Even though red zone was the focus, I thought in terms of the scheme, play action became a bigger part of what they were doing today as opposed to yesterday. They pulled Cole Strange, sort of that old Gronk play. Yep. So you're faking the power run with the pulling lineman, and then you hit the defense over the top. That was Juju Smith-Schuster on the receiving end of it. I think we're going to see a lot more of that this year.
I think it's encouraging, too, to see Juju Smith-Schuster simply out there after having missed a fair amount of time in the offseason. Again, we're going to ask him about this momentarily. You can catch on NBCSportsBoston.com and tonight on Training Camp Central and early edition his response. But how much pressure is there to succeed a guy who was as productive as Jacoby Myers was? We're going to get to that with Juju. But overall, this practice consisted really for the first hour and 10 minutes from 9:30 to 10:40 of special teams work and individualized time. Nancy Myers, been here forever. Shouldn't call her old. Seasons. when we look at
staple.
when we look at what they were doing, a lot of it was individualized and special teams, and then they got into some higher red zone. First day was low red zone, inside the 10 and goal to go. Today was backed up a little bit.
Can I ask you what you thought of Mac Jones' performance today?
I think at first blush, if you're a fan and you just keep looking up and seeing Mac Jones throwing and balls hitting the ground, you're saying, well, he's having a crap day. To me, a lot of those throws were utility throws, meaning he was trying to hit the back corner to the pylon with fade after fade after fade, to the point where that was the design of the drill, the design of what they were trying to do. So the defense knew where he was going, and it was more of an accuracy throw than, hey, you got to complete this throw. So accuracy-wise, numbers-wise, it's going to suck, but I will say this, it comes clearer and clearer with every different drill or period that there's no quarterback competition.
That's true. I would back you up on that 100%. Mac Jones with the ones, Bailey Zappi with the twos. Very, very clear distinction there. Again, for the second straight day. In terms of the numbers, you mentioned the numbers. They probably don't look so hot. They don't. He was 6 for 14 in competitive periods at 7-on-7 and 11-on-11. And I thought in the 7-on-7 stuff, I thought it was interesting because we have a visitor here. This is fun. We've got great crowds here at Gillette Stadium.
Yes.
A lot of people back and forth. We're having a great time out here. In the 7-on-7, on some of those throws that you're talking about, it looked like on 2 of the misses at least, one was an accuracy throw as though he didn't put it where he wanted, because I saw after he floated it to Ty Montgomery, the head sort of hung a little bit. It was his last rep of that period. The throw right before that in a similar area of the field, it looked like there was a miscommunication. So a little bit different, not necessarily where he didn't want to put it. I think he thought it was going to go one way. Hunter Henry thought it was going to go another way, threw it over sort of the shoulder that Henry wasn't expecting. So still some miscommunication. Still some accuracy stuff. There was a throw at the end of practice, Tom. He's rolling to his right, a sprint out pass, third down in the red zone, throws back across his body. Not usually a good idea. He finds Kyle Duggar for the second straight day for an interception.
That was an interesting play. Immediately, Mac Jones hits the deck and gives himself 10 push-ups. It was interesting. Andrew Callahan from the Boston Herald mentioned how, and Doug Kyde from the Herald as well, mentioned that they felt as if Christian Gonzalez was very much in Mac's sights today. Everybody has different takes and different observations as they're going through, but that's interesting to me. I didn't notice it. I said, how'd he hold up? It's pretty good. But again, this is passing stuff almost strictly, and the defense knows what's coming. But I would imagine that'll be interesting to watch, especially during joint practices. Maybe Bill goes to Grable and goes, you try and tune this kid up a little bit?
Yeah, I wonder if that's at all part of the equation there. He was targeted quite a bit. He gave up a long touchdown to Devontae Parker on the first play of 11-on-11's. Nice adjustment from Parker, sort of looking from over one shoulder to over the other for what would have been, 25-yard touchdown or sort of that high red zone area. He also got his hands on a ball on another throw where Jones is rolling out and throwing across his body. So that's something that I wonder if that will be a coaching point today. Hey, this isn't, generally speaking, what we're looking to do, especially in that area of the field. On the pick to Duggar, because it was third down, because it was in the red zone, I wonder, and we'll see if we can get anybody to tell us this, was it one of those situations where he said, last play of the game, you're down 5, you got to get it into the end zone here? Because if it wasn't that, if it was first down in the first, if it was third down in the first quarter, tie score, you throw that one away and you kick the field goal. I thought that was a decision he made earlier in the practice. So these situations and the context, it's different depending on what part of the practice you're talking about.
Last bit I want to hit before we get loose and talk to the players. And again, you can find us on Training Camp Central tonight and Early Edition. And of course, BST, our buddy Cerrone Battle will be on that. He was present here today. But what's your feeling on the Dalvin Cook conversation? I thought it was fascinating to hear Matt Groh yesterday, the Patriots Director of Player Personnel, speak candidly about the fact that there are bargain basement opportunities to be had with players who would far exceed what they're going to command now. Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins being among them. So to me, if you think he's that friggin' good and you got that kind of space, don't let the Jets talk to him. Don't let the Dolphins talk to him. Sign him if you think he's useful. I don't think he is.
Don't let the Bills talk to him. They just lost Nyheim Hines. They might be interested in Dalvin Cook as well. His brother is on that roster in Buffalo. So maybe the entire AFC East is interested in this guy. Go get him. He's still a talented player. I did find it interesting that Groh said, we saw what he could do last year in Minnesota. The Patriots actually held him, I believe, to like 2 yards per carry. So it wasn't his best game, but he's a talented guy. You can use him in the pass game, and you can't ask Ramondre Stevenson to do everything because you get diminishing returns on Stevenson the later you get into the year. It's exactly what happened last year.
Two last things. Phil's talking. Sorry. Everybody's still fairly healthy. I don't think anybody was absent today, but wasn't absent yesterday. And Riley Reef, in the occasions I've watched him, continues to get dusted by Josh.
Josh Uche, I thought had a big. There was one play where both Hunter Henry and Riley Reef were trying to double team him, keep him away from Mac Jones. They couldn't do it.
He's a good player. Good player. Bye, everybody. Good stuff.